Hi, how you doing today? This is Gilbert with Interactive Utopia, and today I'm gonna be doing a little bit of free coding. I just want to teach you a little bit about the Google APIs, specifically the YouTube Analytics API, and yeah, just see. Hopefully, it's good information for you. All right. So as I mentioned, I am Gilbert with Interactive Utopia. If you need any help with any of your projects, do let me know, and it'll be my pleasure to help you out as well. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like it as well, please do subscribe to the channel. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So I have a little bit of a project already started on Visual Studio Code. Very simple. I have that's just login information. I have my credentials. So if you have not done it already, go to Google Developers website and get an set of API keys, an OAuth set of API keys. Once you get them, you're gonna be given the option to download the JSON file, and that's what we're gonna be using to authenticate in this scenario. Okay, if you have any questions on how to do it, do feel free to reach out, but I believe there's a ton of videos out there on how to do that already. Okay, let's just go over what I have. Index page, basically the first thing that we want to do whenever we start working with an API, in this particular case the Google API, we want to authenticate the user. That means they gotta go in, they gotta put in the username and password, and then we get an access key back, a token back. The way that it works, it doesn't, they don't do it on your website, they don't do it on your server. You basically redirect them over to Google so that they can put in their information and log in. And as I mentioned, once if they do it successfully, then they are gonna be sending you the user back, redirecting it back to one of your pages, and then you need to handle that response. So again, the first thing, we just need an empty page just to redirect them. The redirection script, this is the one that I use. As mentioned, you have your secret key and token that it's given by Google, so just go ahead and store that in your server, and that way we can use it. This is just a very generic code. It's something that I've used in the past, so I'm probably gonna have to tweak it a little bit. I didn't actually finalize anything. All of the code, it's just templates, so that way we can start working on it together. Okay, and once they are redirected, you're gonna send the user over to Google. They're gonna do their thing. Google's gonna send it back to you, and then at that point you need to go ahead and ask for whatever scopes you're going to be needing, and then you're going to need to store that access token somewhere in your maybe a database or maybe just a variable, depending on what you're going to be needing. Okay, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that we got to do, this uses the object Google _client. How do we get that? I am not sure if you're familiar with Composer. Basically, Composer, we're coding this in PHP. So Composer is like a library of functions and objects that you can use for your applications. So you can go to packages.org, and that way you can download it or get the information on how to download them from there. All right, so let's go ahead and look for the Google. We need, in this scenario, the Google API client, and this is what we need in order to get it into our project. Okay. Alrighty. So in this scenario, I am logged into my server. So the code itself, being that my PHP server is on my computer, it's somewhere online. I'm going to be doing the all the calls in my actual server. That way the files can be available there. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm in the correct folder, which I just did right there, and then that way I can run the code. You have to run it on your main folder. Okay, so just copy and paste it, then we should get a response right here. Alrighty, so there we go. We already have a error. I use a media temple server, so for that I need to get some information. Alright, just give me 1 second. Alright, I have a cheat sheet of codes. There we go. Alrighty, so in my scenario, this is the code that I need to call in order to get the proper call. So we're gonna do require Google API client. There we go, and now it's working. So basically, again, I have media temple, I have multiple versions of PHP in there. So the only thing that I need to do is actually tell it what version of PHP I'm using, and that way it can start doing its thing using that version, I guess. So everything has been installed. So let's take a look and see how that works. So if you see, before we just had a folder called YouTube Analytics in my main folder. Now we have a couple different ones, the main one being vendor, requests and handlers, those are my files, and then we have the log file and the JSON composer file. Alrighty, let's take a closer look. So cd vendor, we're just changing into that vendor folder, and then as you can see, those are pretty much the vendor files. So let's, in order to load the Google client, we gotta load or autoloader, which is basically right here, autoload.php. And we're going to require. So where is the folder? We said it was going to be vendor / autoload.php. Alright. That should load all the required classes. And first thing we gotta do, the first project we want to work on, it's the Google redirect file, and let me tell you why in a second. So going back to our home page, again, we just have a link in the index file that is going to redirect us to this file right here. Okay, so let's see if that's going to work. Oh, not working. So let's take a look and see what is going on in there. Just gonna open a window onto the side and try to get some extra code for you. There we go. I'm missing a section. So how do we use it? So we are calling it, we are including it, maybe they changed the name. Let's try to take a look. Let's do a refresh. Nope. It is always fun finding the errors. Oh, I have an idea why. Let's go ahead and bring that back. So an error right here is that my credentials are on a different place. There we go. So one folder back, private, client JSON. That should work. All right, let's give it another try. Nope. Page is not working. Let's see, maybe let's take this out and let's try to print the response. Alright, so that is still not working. Are we getting the same files? Yes. Okay, there we go. So the vendor file, it's located somewhere else. So that is still not doing anything. Let's check something out. If we comment all this out, well, we don't get the error anymore, so that's good. Let's see if that line gives us the error. Nope, that is not giving us the error. So just an example how I go about tackling any bugs on my software or my applications, just line by line. You got to take care of it. So there we go. So it's not finding the file. So something maybe that I forgot to do is to upload it. So let's see if that's going to work. There we go. So that's what it was. So let's bring it back, save it. There we go. We're getting the URL now. So let's take care of that. Alrighty then. So save it. We're going back, clicking login. Bada bing, bada boom. Can't sign in because of an invalid request. Let's see. So it says there's a mismatch. Here we go. That's why. So that's the bad thing about using templated code. You know, you always gotta watch out for things that are in there already that could mess you up. Or when you're coding it by yourself, you know, that way you don't make mistakes when you're doing line by line. But in this scenario, what happened was my redirect URL was improperly set. You know, it was pretty much the one from before. So we have a proper URL, but it's going back to handlers. Handler. And then the actual name of the file. Let's copy that because we're lazy. And let's go ahead and save it. Let's check the code line by line. So we're starting the Google object, we're providing it the access keys, we're just setting a scope. In this case, it's just business manage. We'll change it in a second depending on what we're gonna do. The redirect URL, it's good. Access token offline, that's if you want to save it for future use. Maybe if you're building an app and you want the user to be able to not have to be logging in every half an hour, then this is kind of the way to go. Sorry about that. You're forcing on login every single time, and then it's including the granted scopes. It's once you give them all that information, basically you're logging in, you're like, hey, I want this scopes, can you ask the user if they want to give it to me. They'll be like, sure, send them over this way. They'll give you that URL. You just gotta sanitize it and then send the user that way, pretty much. So let's go ahead and save it, and let's go ahead and give that a try again. So we'll just do a refresh and then log in. So there we go. We can log in. I know I haven't verified it. And then once I access my account, go ahead. And then we got a 404 error. Handlers. Let me guess, I didn't upload the file. So let's do a refresh. Login scope request.php. Gonna hold it, open a new tab and give it a try. Yeah, oh, I know why. Because the URL is wrong. So what happened was the URL to redirect is wrong because I am in a subfolder. So see, there's always something. Let's go ahead and change that. Well, sorry about that. It has some information in there. I guess I can't put it in here. Have to go back and take it out. But basically, the way that you change it is you go back to the Google Cloud Developers Console, I guess, and you gotta put in the proper URL. So the one that we need, let's go back to the full URL. Let's go ahead and copy that into Google API. Alright, there we go. So I saved it on their page. Let's go back to our code. So basically we need it to look like this. So we got the URL. And we're just missing this right here. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Alright. Then I know on this page we're gonna do that as well. Alright, so we saved it. And let's give it another try. So, log in. Once again, it's me. Continue. Continue. And boom, we got the page. It's not working, but we got the page. So now let's see why that's not working. Let's go line by line, like we learned. So we got the require vendor. That's a little off, and then that's good, that's good, that's good, good, good. Alright, let's give it a try. Let's do a refresh. Boom, and there we go. You know what we never did? We never printed that token. So let's do print our token. Go ahead and save it. We're going back to the website, back to the original page. So let's give that another try. Hopefully it's going to work this time. So we're logging in, we're logging in, we're logging in. We are logging in, and bada boom, bada beam. We got our access token, expiration type, our refresh token. So that's what I was saying. Your access token is what you can use right now if you need to make any calls or anything like that. But the refresh token is what you're actually gonna be using, you know, like after your regular token expires, and maybe it's like a day after, and you want the user not to log in again, then you use your refresh token to get a new access token to then use at that time. Hopefully it makes sense. And let's go ahead and store this. So if we want to do anything with it, we need to store it in some type of database or something. So what we are gonna do, we are going to start a session. So session start, and then we can put this token, and then we can do like session Google token. Never use names like this. We're just using it for the sake of coding, but try to be more private, I guess. Google tokens. Google access tokens. There we go. It's a little nicer. Equals token. All right, and then let's go ahead and redirect them. Sorry, I'm just being lazy again. So we are sending them back to index.php. So we're just gonna send them back to the home page once they do this. And sign in. Let's go back again. Let's sign in again. Sign in. Did I save it? Yes, I saved it. Continue. Continue. And boom, it sent me right back to where I wanted to be. So how do we know that it works? How do we know that it got stored? Let's go to the index.php file. So I'm going to erase this line. I'm just going to do a quick template for HTML5, and let's do the Google API video app. And then we're just going to put that link right in there. But we want to know if what we just did worked. So let's do some PHP on the HTML page, and let's go ahead and do a session start, and then what do we call it? So let's go back to this page, and we call it Google Access Token. Let's copy it, make it easier. And then we can be like, let's just see if it worked. So in the middle of the body, let's start some PHP again. Close it up. And then let's do print. There we go. That's supposed to be in there. Boom. So we save it. Let's go over here. And there it is. There's your information. So now we can do something. Let's get a little more technical, I guess. Let's just say if it's not empty, the session variable, then we can say if it's not empty, then we can go ahead and send them over to that URL. But if they are, then we can be like, oh no, we gotta close it. Oh no, what are we doing here? If L, then we close it and then we open it back up again. Okay. Sorry, a little bit of a brain fart. And then we can be like, H1, welcome to the app. So let's refresh. That did not work. So if it's not empty, where's the one? The easy stuff, it's always what gets you. It always gets you. So if it's empty, that's not supposed to work because it's not empty. Let's just say if it's set there we go. So I don't know, glitch me, I'm glitching. We're just checking if it's set. Usually I like empty because it checks to make sure that it's there and that it's empty. Maybe in this case because it's an object inside it's not working, but in any case it said it's working, so we're just doing some quick coding that it's not being so quick. So we can get the user to log in. So now what? Like, what can we do with that? We can go ahead and try to do some YouTube analytics. Let's go ahead and create a new file. Call it index.php. Let's go ahead and save it, and that's it for right now. Let's go ahead and let's close this page. So Google developers has a lot of information on how to work with it, how to do your thing, and you know, we just need to do a little bit of reading and see how we want to make a call. So I know we're gonna. So there's two types. You can get bulk reports or targeted queries. Targeted queries is more like one by one. Bulk reports is like a bunch of information, and then you do whatever you need to do with that information. So for our case, let's just do targeted. I think it's gonna be a little easier. So I've never done one. I have no idea how to do them. So bear with me on how this is all gonna work. So scopes. We need to work with the scopes. Remember on the login scope request. So here we go. So we're adding a scope. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do we need? I have no idea. 4. Let's copy number 2. Let's copy number 3. And let's copy number 4. Let's go ahead and save it. And well, I want to re-log in. So how do we do that? I guess we need a log off page. So let's create a new page. Let's just call it log off.php, and we're just gonna go simple. We're just gonna go with session destroy, and then we can go to header, location, index.php. Alright, now we need a button. Let's go ahead and copy the login button. Well, that's not very nice. Alright, copy paste, and then we're just gonna go log off.php. Log off. We don't need this. Log. There we go. Let's save it. Let's go back over here. Log off. Where's the one? Here we go. It's an L, not a 1. There we go. So we want to log off. There we go. We are logged off. That did not work. Why that did not work? We destroy the session. And again, this is still there. Let's take a look. Print R. So it's still there. So let's go ahead and go to PHP session destroy session unset. That's why. Session, let's take a look at session. There you go, session unset. That's what we wanted to do. Session. So we unset it and then we destroy it. Hopefully that's gonna work. Gonna look very dummy if not. Let's leave it in there, see what it says. Log off. Oh, you know why it's not working? Dummy me. Because we never started the session, so we need to start the session so that we can destroy the session, if it makes any sense. Because then you're not opening it, you're not going to be able to access it. So let's give that another try, log off, and boom, that worked. So so what I did is, besides the log off side of it, we changed the scopes of what we're going to be asking for from Google. So let's go ahead and ask Google for that. Continue. Resume access. There we go. So hopefully that should work now. It's giving us business.manage. Why is it doing? Oh, you know why? We did it on the scope request afterwards, but not on the redirect. Sorry guys, a lot of dual stuff in here, I guess. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and log off. Let's go ahead and log in again. Let's go ahead and pick the account. Continuing. And then it's like, hey, I want this information from you. So you select it. You're like, yeah, I trust you, buddy. And then give me all your information. No. That's all. If you want to do this, you can do it in your server, you know, do your thing. And remember, all these tokens are gonna expire anyway, so and I'm gonna erase the app, so you know, you can be bad if you want, but it's not gonna work. So we requested the scopes that we wanted, and now we want to do something with those scopes. So let's see. Let's try to get some reporting, some content sample requests. Let's see what they're giving us. They're like, hey, if I want to do this, how do we do this? Let's see if there's an API that we need now. And when in doubt, give API sample request. 'When in doubt, look in the internet. 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 'When in like Google says. SUP UI. Let's see what Mr. SUP UI has to say. I hate it when they're like, yeah, we can help you, but you gotta download all these things. How to get the API. This is not very helpful. Oh, we're gonna need to make a curl call. All right then, so let's see what we can do. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it for right now as it is. I'm gonna get a little bit of information and then I'm gonna get back to it. We kind of went over how to start the application, how to basically log in a user to Google, how to store it in the session, and how to log that off. We were able to get the scopes that are needed for the YouTube API, and now I just need to get a little bit of sample code so that we can continue working with the YouTube API. So what I'm thinking is there's two ways to do it. We got this URL right here. We can use curl to access it using the credentials that we got, and that should be, that's a way to do it. But normally we're using the Google Client API class. A lot of the times there's ways to do it through that API. That way we don't have to be writing all the extra code. So I'm just going to take a quick look at that. If not, then we just do it. We're going to go ahead and do it through curl. But yeah, we should be able to take care of it. All right, so once again, this is Gilbert with Interactive Utopia. Hope this information helps you, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. All right, have a great day.